everyone, welcome back to the Be More podcast, where we inspire you to be a little bit more of every role within the Salesforce ecosystem and beyond. For today's session, we are talking Be More Women in Tech, and I'm joined today by Sara. So Sara, are you okay to introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Yes, of course. And first, thanks, Tom. Thank you so much for inviting me for this amazing podcast. I love your work. So, I am Sara Hernandez. I am Latina from Venezuela, but I currently live in Madrid, Spain. I am solution architect and I work in an insurance company in Madrid. I have 11 certification. I am Salesforce MVP, Golden Hoodie recipient, architecture community lead. I have the Women First IT nonprofit and created content too in podcast, but only in Spanish.
Awesome. Well, it's great to be talking to you today. I'm really looking forward to this session, and I think it speaks to the power of the Salesforce community. Like, we both know each other a little bit, and we're joined by the Salesforce community, and we see each other at events. So it's great to come together for the podcast and to talk a little bit more about Women Force IT. So maybe you could introduce to us what that's all about and what that means.
Women Force IT is the free programs, and the principal objective is to help and teach Hispanic or speaking Spanish women around the world. But it's not only teach Salesforce, because the principal role we teach is admin role. Is more like try to help the women understand different other skill, soft skill, how to learn about project management, how to know about, you need to everything about, for example, the interview for your first opportunity, how to create the storytelling. This other skill is very important for us because we not only have the course, all students, when they enter the course, need to present implementation project for a specific audience. And the student needed to understand how to work for others, students, for team. What the storytelling you needed for end-to-end process, try to explain for the customer in the audience. So it's very hard, but for us, all women finish the course have a lot of other skill to have the difference when you try to find your first experience for others, for other persons in the same things.
Okay. Amazing. So it sounds like you do a great job of helping others. And aside from that, you're a solution architect as well. So do you maybe want to introduce that role too?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that is right. I am a solution architect too. My role, the principal focus on design, quality, and scalable and effective solution in Salesforce. Focusing, for example, on creating business value. For me, that is the most important way I create the solution. One day I read the articles when they said the solution architects are responsible for everything inside in Salesforce. Essentially, I make sure that everything work is coherent and powerful solution, but that is most important for me when you have to, or when you do for solution architect work.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And as another solution architect, I agree with you there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's think about your role in Women Force IT first, and how do you interact with other people as part of that role? So you mentioned that you help Latina women get into the ecosystem. So is that primarily people that are wanting to enter the ecosystem? Are those the type of people you interact with, or do you interact with other people as well?
Women Force IT is only volunteers works. So the principal, when I try to interact for other roles in Women Force, I will try to connect with other women have experience for the students, because I think in the Salesforce ecosystem we have amazing women, have a great history. I want the student to understand she can do it, you can do it. So when we start all course and when I finish, we always have invited the women or some women try to talk about their experience, but not only women, because I think we need to try to work in the member gap. So we have to try to invite men, because we need work together. I always say stronger together. So the team in Women Force I think is not only women. We have men and women. So it's very important. We only teach women, but the other role we interact is women and men in different roles. Principally admin on solution architects or technical architects, because we want to the student understand, this is your first steps, but you have other path you needed to understand. With the solution architect, I don't know you have the question, but I interacted with the solution architect. For me, it's very cross. The solution architect, because we work with all the team and the levels, for example, administrator, developers, technical leads, especially to validate how the implementation are going, for example. Follow on the solution you did it, and support is the team have some issue, for example. And also we work closely with the technical architects, even though I may have, for example, technical knowledge, but I need to always support with the technical architect, because for me it's two different roles. We work, for example, very close with product owner. That is very important, because you need to understand the all requirements for the business, and the product owner for me is the most principal role. So, and the business analyst too, for example. So for me, solution architect is the cross role for the companies.
Yeah, and I agree that I think the solution architect role, at least in my mind, it's kind of like a gel or a glue that holds everything together, right? You're in the center of all these people, and sometimes you need, as you say, a technical escalation, or you need to bounce ideas off somebody else, and that's where you would go traditionally to a technical architect, right?
Yeah, that is true. So for me, all companies, or some companies, don't understand the solution architect role. I think the most common to confuse is the solution architect and technical architect, because you don't understand, okay, this is my work, and now you need this work. Do you know what I mean? So I think that is the two principal roles have a lot of confuse. So we need to help to the companies and your boss understand what is the difference when you have this role.
Yeah, I think that's important, because I've certainly seen job listings that kind of expect a solution architect to be able to code or be able to independently design like a system landscape. And those things, the system landscape thing kind of more leans into the technical architect, and the code perhaps more leads into the developer. So I think it's really important to help to define that line, because there are some companies that have it right, and there are other companies that perhaps expect something that's not realistic. Thinking about you now, I'm assuming full-time, your kind of working day is as a solution architect, and then you do various other things in the community, including the Women Force IT. So how do you fit everything in? Like, why?
A lot of people ask me the same. Okay. I really love my work and the community and the ecosystem. I think the old technology, but when I started in the Salesforce ecosystem, I understand how I really love the technology. So, for example, I told you Women for IT works with volunteers hours. What I do is done on, for example, in Friday and Saturdays, I dedicate my volunteer hours because I need to control how many hours I work in Women for IT because I need to understand how many volunteers we have time in this project. So I am on, for example, sometimes my volunteers have different work in the Women for IT. I have different roles. For example, everything about administration of the nonprofit, I have time Friday, Saturday, but sometimes I teach too in Women for IT. Not all years, maybe one course per year. And that time is in afternoon after work, but everything changing. Sometimes I Friday, sometimes on Saturday, sometimes I have different times to my volunteering Women for IT, but I work. My focus during the day is my work. Which in the end, I also my professional growth. If I don't advance as a professional, I can help others to advance. So I am very structured to my time. Yeah, I am very structured. For example, I know when I wake up, I have my routine in the morning. So after that, I start my work. After work, I have other routines. So I need to try to have my plans all week or maybe all month. Try to do everything I do because it's important. My friends told me, I want to, I don't know, dream for you something of we need to go to the cinema. Okay, I want the next month. Oh my goodness. My friend told me, what? 1 month? Yeah, because I have a lot of things in this month. So that is I do it for my commitment with Women for Society and other things.
Okay, awesome. And I can certainly relate to that. Like, it's kind of got to a point now where a friend wants to do something and I'll say, okay, book in. Here's my booking link. You can book time with me. That's how I manage it and make sure to keep prioritized. And I actually have a little kind of automation going on in the background that when somebody in time with me, I only have one of those a day. It blocks out my whole day. So then I have that balance, you know, and I think it's different for everybody, right?
Yeah, that is true. Maybe this work for me or not work for you or for other people. I think everyone need to try to find what is the best methodology and planning to work for every. Because, for example, today I post. I really practice mindfulness, and today I post, for example, you remember you need to take care yourself. I need your time too. So I have my time. I think a lot of people ask me, how you do it, everything you do. I don't know. I think you have the same time I have. Or the day has 24 hours. I think is what is your prioritizations. It's not the same my prioritization. For example, for me, create content is very important because it's not only create content for other people. When I have the time to create content, I learn because I need to review the content in the search information. I have this interview, I learn
Yeah.
for you. So I think depends like what is your priority for you. Maybe career content is not your priority. That is okay. But for me, is my priority is to help people
Yeah.
because I really like to impact in the people life because I have the knowledge for do that.
Hmm.
Why I cannot. So for me, it's very important. So,
Yeah.
depends your prioritization.
Yeah. Definitely. I think it's great that you're out there creating content in Spanish as well, because
Yeah.
very few people. I think you're the only person in the Salesforce ecosystem I know of that's doing that. So that's really important too, right?
Yeah, because um, I don't remember the exactly percent, but I think only 5% in Latin America speak English.
Mm.
For me, it's not easy to speak English, but not everyone has the same opportunity or the
Mhm.
same time because
Yeah.
maybe his mother, his father have family, need to work for in others things, and not have or don't have money because everything is have the situation for everyone is not the same. So
Mhm.
when I start, maybe I never find information in Spanish. So the English for me never is easy.
Yeah.
For me is today I speak English here with
Mhm.
you because I work hard. But maybe 5 years ago
Yeah.
I hello, my name is only that.
Yeah.
So when I try to find information in Spanish about Salesforce, we don't have. So
No.
I think it's better when you try to understand information in your principal language
Mhm.
and then you try to translate it in English. I always say with my students, if you don't can't if you can't now study English for different reasons, it's okay. But you need to practice. How you can practice? You have TradeHead.
Yeah.
Okay? A lot of content today is in Spanish in TradeHead. So try to understand in Spanish and then change to English and
Mhm.
try to match and translate the contents. Maybe one training is 5 hours, maybe two took
Yeah.
10 hours is the matter. You try, is the moment you try to study Salesforce and English.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the opportunity. So
Mm.
that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And yeah, I think it's important that Trailhead and other resources are produced in different languages because they
Yeah.
open those barriers up for people, And as you say, you can be learning Salesforce and potentially English at the same time. So that's no mean feat. I mean, I struggled myself to learn Salesforce, and I already knew the English bit. So I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the all of it. So yeah, that's amazing. Um,
Yeah.
so now thinking about tips, advice you would give to those looking to start out in this role. Maybe we start with solution architect. What's maybe two top tips for somebody that's looking to start out as a solution architect, do you think?
Okay. Becoming a Salesforce solution architect
Mm.
is, in my opinion, is challenging
Yeah.
career path. Directory and combination when you told in the start, for example, technical knowledge,
Mm.
business insight, and a strong communication skill. A strong communication skill for me is very important because you need to try to explain the solution. For example, the other important thing is master in the Salesforce platforms. Get a deep understanding of the Salesforce ecosystem, including, for
Mm.
example, various cloud, sales, service, marketing. The core is very important. Have hard knowledge, products, features, and limitations,
Yeah.
for example. understand business. Business needs solution architect is not just about technical implementation, but also it's very important understanding business requirements and translating them into a scalable, effective solution on the Salesforce platforms. Analyze process and design solution that meet business objective. So maybe you don't understand a specific Apex class, or maybe if you have the knowledge, it's okay. But if you don't have, but you need to understand when you needed automation, what is the best automation, when you need to have a class flow, or when you have the best integrations, the different integration you have. So for me, that is the most important when you want to the solution architect path, career path. In Women Force IT, the main thing is to know if you really like teach and you have the time to do it. Because depends on the focus if you want, for example, to be voluntary or you want to have some cost. Maybe it's okay. Women Force IT is everything is free. For example, which in the end are the difference management. It's not the same manage the volunteer program and the course we have the cost or price. Is in our case we have been lucky enough because we find people who share our values and passion for the ecosystem, and this is very important. That define a good course that is really different from what exists today. If, for example, you want only teach Salesforce or you want to teach more. For example, I say we teach Salesforce, but we try to help the women understand the other skill. That is important for you, it's not important. It's okay, depends what you want in your program. Also to know if you want to teach Salesforce. I always say, if you want to know to teach Salesforce or if you want to help people change their life, that is different. And difference and another effort, because you have more time in the path when the student finish the course. You need to try to mentor the students. It's not only teach. You have to teach and mentor.
That's really inspiring and kind of made me feel warm inside when you said like you want to change these people's lives. That's what you're doing it for. So I think that passion is really important too as well, don't you think?
That is very important because the course is good. You share your knowledge, it's okay. Maybe you don't see that people again, but when you're changing the life, it's very important because you maybe not only change the woman life, maybe you change the family life.
Yeah.
Because that woman is the principal in her home, for example. So it's important. I want to include other tips in the solution architect. I can't.
Yeah.
It's important. I think that is for every role. It's important to stay curious and learn something new every day. For me, the most important, be patient and persistent. I always say this for everyone and the student in Women Force IT, because when you want to change your life, you have anxiety, you change right now, you have the opportunity now, so it's difficult. It's very important to be patient, but persistent, proactive, and try to have a lot of motivation, because maybe it is difficult but not impossible. So that is important.
Okay, awesome. And I agree, passion is important. And I think, again, inspiring, thinking about not only lifting those women up and getting them into the ecosystem, but potentially changing their lives, their kind of trajectory, and improving the lives of their families as well. I think that's another reason why you would want to do this. If you were to start again, do something differently. So maybe solution architect first, but if you were to change something or do something differently on your journey to a solution architect or as a solution architect, is there anything you would change, do you think?
Maybe if you asked me this question 6 months ago, my answer, I respond yes. But I have amazing mentor, and she showed me what is important all my path today. So I honestly believe that every experience we have gone through is what have made us in my career. I will not change anything. I consider that everything I have lived through have made me the person and professional I am today. I have learned from every experience, and today I can identify, for example, what I like and what I don't like.
Yeah.
So I don't change anything. I need that experience in my life.
Yeah, I think that's important. And rightly or wrongly, those experience brings us together. So I'm thankful for that as well. How about Women Force IT? Is there anything, if you were to start that kind of program out again, would you change or do differently, do you think?
No, I think so, no, too, because the organization we are today, is we have not gone through that experience. We will not have know the focus I want. So I not change anything. I think we need live that experience to understand what is the focus we want in the program.
Yeah, okay. I think that's important, and it's always good to reflect on the purpose. Why am I doing this? And then seeing the result as well kind of makes it all worthwhile as well. And I agree with the whole lived experience thing. Like, if I hadn't have made these mistakes, then I wouldn't have changed or done something differently to not make those mistakes again. I think that's really important.
Yes. If you have the mistake again, it's your problem.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So thinking about this now from a slightly different viewpoint, what skills or attributes do you think it takes to be a solution architect? We've already touched on some, like curious is one of the ones that we spoke about. Maybe storytelling is another one. Do you think there's anything else?
Yeah, communication skill. You need. I think the other day I have the interview in the Chronicles in my podcast about the diagram art. And that interview, I understand you don't know only to have the skill, the art, when you design the process, for example, but the communication is art. Need to understand the storytelling, the end to end, because maybe you have the share your screen and you have the slide, share your slide, but is you don't have the storytelling in your slide. The other one is developer skill. Maybe you need to understand some level, nor specific developer information, but I think it's important.
Yeah.
Networking.
Yeah, definitely. And I see your face as you say that. Yeah.
The networking change life. It's important in networking inside your company, outside your company, because you need to meet amazing people. You understand different things. So the networking is the principle.
Yeah, awesome. And the same question again, but for Women Force IT, do you think there's skills attributes there? Like, I'm sure curiosity would translate to that as well, right?
Yeah, I think for a student, for example, to present proposal to start in Women Force IT, for example, is very important. The student need to know about technology, specifically Salesforce. Is possible about anything in other technologies, for example, in Women Force IT, because we want to change life. If you know now about Salesforce, you have other path in your career, and Women for Society is not for this. The other skill is time. I think it's attribute time to dedicate. Because our estimate time is maybe 12 hours per week between everything we teach. And the most important skill I think valued is commitment, proactive, and attitude for the students. I want to include the facilitators or teachers, mentors, have more than, for example, the attributes is the skill, have the certification admin, maybe not maybe you need to have 3 more years experience in the admin roles, 4 hours per week for the volunteer.
Okay,
that is awesome. For Women Force. Yeah
Okay, fab. So now you have an opportunity to clarify a misconception that somebody might have about one of these roles. So thinking about like solution architect, we've touched on one already, that a solution architect needs to know everything. Is there anything else that kind of comes out, you think, from the solution architect point of view that is like a misconception or something people assume, perhaps incorrectly, about that role?
I think it's very important to understand the difference between solution architect, technical architect. Many organizations don't understand that is the different roles, in that I mentioned the solution architect needs technical knowledge. I doesn't have to the same level on the technical architect, because the technical architect has to focus on more specific details that the solution architect doesn't do. They complete, for me, is they complement each other to work together. The solution architect in the future can be a technical architect, for example. Yes, that is true, but they are different roles. So I think it's important try to share this information, try to help the people understand. Because I don't know in UK this happened, but when you have the proposal job, I want the solution architect, but you need to develop learning one component. You have to develop integration. You have oh my god, you don't need a solution architect. You not need a solution architect. You need other roles. So I think it is try to help understand what is the specific role, but it's hard. But we have the missions.
Exactly. And I think that's important, and we're perhaps both on that mission together. So that's great to hear. And what about Women Force IT? Like, perhaps one of the things that's come up already is anyone can do it, right? That's perhaps misconception because you're from a certain background or you've never worked in technology before, that you can't do it. But the matter is that you can, right?
I think you can change, but I think it's important thing for me that is understand when you want to work in this program, for example, in Women for Society or in different programs, your role is the volunteer. is important the value and respect everything we do. Because, for example, in Women for Society, everything is free.
Yeah.
Because it's free because we want to be free. That is not
Yeah.
the principal the principal problem. The principal problem, for example, is if you want to participate, okay, you can. But it's very important to understand the balance and respect the time, because the time is important. If I want to invest my time in this program, it's okay. I decided that. But if you don't respect my time, I want to I want, for example, sing my time in other different things, not in the program, for example. If you decide to participate, it's because you really know that you can't do it in Women for IT or in different things in the community. And the other point, I know I want to include this, maybe it's not part of this question, but the other point is also to understand that we can only select a limited number of students, which today I teach for 30 students, because we have the analyze their process. If I want to help the student, we need a specific number, because it's very hard try to the whole process, try to guide in the whole process end to end. So that is the number we can take care of. And another thing is, all women must go through the selection process. Whatever they are, family, friends, college, in the program, you need to do the same process, because the principal value is for all is the transparency. So it's important to do it. If you have friends, brother, sister, it's the same thing for everyone.
I think that's really important, because you're talking about a program or a scheme that is about equality and about getting people into the ecosystem, and it's only fair that you have a truthful, transparent, honest way of getting people into this scheme. I think that's the right word, isn't it? Honesty. So that's great. And now, unfortunately, we're going to bring the session today to a close. But before we do go, what's the way for people to connect with you? And are there particular pieces of content that you'd like to shout out that might help others listening to this, do you think?
Yeah, thank you, Tom. You can contact me on LinkedIn, Sara Hernandez Muñoz. On Twitter is I am Latina Sara. You can also follow me in YouTube, in Crónicas de Salesforce, if you want to learn. I know this podcast is in English, but maybe you want to learn Spanish. So you can learn Spanish in YouTube and Spotify. Crónicas de Salesforce. And if you want to know more about Women First IT, we want to connect in the Women First IT in LinkedIn, and or the name is in Spanish, sorry, Fundación Women First IT in Google.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again for your time today, and hopefully we inspire some more women to get into tech as a result. So thanks again for your time.
No, thank you, Tom, for inviting me. It's the honest.